Alright, Mario Kart Super Circuit. I think this came out after Mario Kart 64. The sprites look very the same as they do in that game. But the rendering style is kind of a Mode 7 type thing, except for everything's done in software because it's the Game Boy Advance. I cleared my save file up so we'd start a new one. And yeah, there's color correction applied to the screen, which really mutes out the reds and makes everything look soft and pastel. But if I turn it off, it will sear your eyeballs out of your eyes. This came out before the SP and was heavily color processed for a non-backlit LCD screen, so you just get this kind of icky color situation no matter how you go about it. Cool game though. We'll start off with the 50cc, which is a little slow, but that's alright. I'm taking it a little slow here. Easy as that. The 50cc will blow through. The 100, I might at least start having some challenge. I'm sure I'll do terrible in 150. Okay, that might be one of the cheesiest wins in Mario Kart history. But second and third got, or first and second got a crazy runaway lead. Wario and Toad did, and the fact that I was able to take it back in such an insane and cheap way is pretty funny. That's some pretty good stuff. That's some classic Mario Kart shenanigans right there. You know, this is quite a bit smoother than the Super Nintendo Mario Kart. And the ground scaling is about the same. It just looks a little better on here. But the sprite scaling is way smoother. Super Nintendo can't apply Mode 7 to sprites. It's a tile effect, so it's used entirely for the background, or the floor, and the ground, in this case, on Super Nintendo. But so the sprites are just pre-scaled at different distances or whatever, and it uses that old traditional system. But it makes their animation way smoother on here, where everything's actually being scaled in real time. So this is more advanced than Mario Kart, even if just a little bit. I really wanted to steal that one from me, but I barely made it. I did bad and got lucky. That was bad. The music in this game is good, but the quality of it is poor. That's something I say a lot about Game Boy Advance games, because they all have software-based audio engines, you know, and generally they go with some sort of sampled audio, and game audio production was higher quality when we got into the early 2000s, but they really had to like cut the sample quality a lot to fit it into the cartridge memory and not take up too much processing in the games and stuff, so. Hello, Coke Free since 2015. And hello, Rosalindo. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know what Idle Restaurants is, but it doesn't sound like something I'd play, to be honest. This is probably more casual than what I usually do. You might want to check out the channel just to see. Not that I mean, I love racing games. I do them a lot. But this is definitely on the less arcade-like end of what I normally play. I don't know what Subway Facebook is, actually. My Twitch is pretty obsolete. I haven't updated it in 5 or 6 years. I was thinking about maybe trying to do some sort of simulcasting thing there, because I know you can get a pretty big audience off of Twitch, but I also hate everything else about it. Well, basically every single other thing about it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We're about to finish off 50cc here. And yeah, I don't actually have a Facebook account, so if you're seeing something calling it the Techniques Facebook account, that's not legit. I think I should also throw that out there. I don't know what that is, but it's not me. I don't use Facebook, and I haven't in many, many years. I used to use it under my real name, but that was like about a decade ago that I deactivated my account. I don't like social media. I like watching streaming games, but I don't like anything else about social media at all, really. Not social enough for it, probably. I will say this, I do take recommendations for games, but you should ask yourself a few questions before you submit a request. Because and it doesn't have anything to do with what era or what system it's on. No matter what it is, that's fine. I'll find a way if it's a really cool game. I play stuff from everything. But you should ask yourself these questions. Does this game involve shooting people, kicking anyone in the face? Do I get to drive a vehicle at an unsafe speed? Do I get to do some sort of combat while operating a vehicle? Do I get to do some sort of stunts while operating a vehicle? Um, or do I get to kick people in the face over and over again? Or fly a spaceship or something? If the answer to all of those questions is no, and it's not an action game, I'm probably not going to look into it too much. But I do like driving and shooting and kicking and driving and shooting and kicking. So Mario Kart fits the bill, kind of. It's definitely a combat racing game. And if you've ever been around any families that are very competitive about it, you know just how much of a combat racing game it is. Wipeout is almost directly ripped off of Mario Kart. And I have somewhat more familiarity with Wipeout, probably. That finishes all 50cc, I think. Probably take a real short break here before I jump into the next whatever. Get a new drink. About to finish off this Gators Aid. It's what Gators drink. Thanks again, Rosalinda, Coke Free, and everybody else who stopped by today. As a reminder on Coke Free's comment, my Twitch page is old but real. I do not have a Facebook page. There's no The Technique Facebook page, or anything you see related to The Technique on Facebook is not posted by me. It is not legit, and I am not down with Facebook. So you can catch all the action here. But if you think I should revive my Twitch account, or you'd like to see me try to figure out a way to simulcast on both, let me know. I'll look into it a little bit. On that topic also, for changing up the format of my stream, I do notice that a lot of my viewers are on mobile. If you guys would prefer a like portrait format, because most games I stream are 4:3 anyway, with that at the top and my face or something at the bottom, I don't know. Let me know. We could maybe figure out a different format as well. I may or may not do that. I may, even if it's preferred, I may not prefer it myself. Or again, maybe there's a way to like simulcast it in both formats. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break here, and I'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not gone, so if you have any comments or anything, I'm here, but I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks for watching. Alright, I'm back, and I'm glad to be on the 100cc. I think the 50cc is just a little too slow. And the 150 is just a little too hard, but I think 100 is just about the Goldilocks zone for me in most Mario Kart games. It's probably what I would play in multiplayer usually. I don't know, I feel like we always played 150 though, and I hated it. Who knows? Let me make sure I beat 50cc. Did I do everything on it? No, I didn't do the special cup. That's right. Never mind. We're still on 50. One more to drag through. But it does have rainbow roads. This will be cool. I don't recall ever having this problem before, but it's basically ruined this attempt. Like it's just ruined it. I don't know. This is a whole new challenge for me. I'd never seen this problem, but it sure does suck. It sure is a huge problem. We might as well just start the whole series over. If I have to do 2 restarts off of the first track, what's the point? Oops, wrong one again. So I'm just trying to wrap my mind around how cruel this little piece of shit right here is. This is awful. Like, this is so much worse than everything else in this game. It's a jump to kick you out. It's not out of bounds, so you don't get reset by Lakitu. You're stuck. And even if you make yourself reset by driving into the water, you still come back here because this is an earlier part of the track. And you can't jump in from the left, and you can't go down to the hop and jump in there, even if you build up speed. It's just a complete screw job that they put in. Like, why not just make my game end as soon as I hit it? Like, why not just end the game right then? Because you're screwed. You're like heavily, completely screwed. I'll try to drive it out this time, but I think that even landing there one time on one of the 3 laps is a game over. I had to crawl through those corners to make sure I didn't get flung out by their little asshole jump edges. I want to say that Rainbow Road also has like jumps around the outer rims, but those fling you off into the void and you get reset by Lakitu. That sucks, but it doesn't suck nearly as much as being thrown onto a random wrong part of the track where you might not even be facing the right direction. Like that's a whole other kind of way more frustrating thing than what we've seen so far. You see how I screwed Wario there at the end? I like that. It helped Yoshi get ahead of Wario. Absolutely robbed. What a bunch of nonsense. Wow, the special circuit's really making me angry and is much more frustrating than every single bit of this game has been up until this point. This is just awful. Wow. Yeah, I wasn't even aware that this part was hard. When I played it in practice, I beat every one of these on first, on my first attempt. I didn't have any of these problems or anything, so I don't know. The special cup is like a lot harder than everything before it. To me, it seems. So I don't know. Everything's going to be a struggle from this point, because I did have a little bit of trouble with the 100 races. Like, not crazy trouble, but a little bit when I was practicing. And zero trouble with special. Well, I had a lot of trouble with special this time. I think that 100 is probably going to really whoop my ass. I don't know. I'll let the credits roll out here. Well, I regain my composure after Rainbow Road, and we'll see how it goes. So the one thing that I feel is missing here is wow, there's a problem I haven't had in a long time. I lost my connection for a second. I'm gonna double check on the mobile app and make sure that the stream is still cool. That's a little bit of a different one for me. I used to have that problem a lot, and I don't even know what fixed it, to be honest. Yeah, we're good. Alright. Also, what is Subway Facebook? Like, is it related to the Subway? Or to the sandwiches? Or... Wait, is that why you're asking me to play a restaurant game? Is this somehow connected to Subway sandwiches? Still trying to decipher this as this credits play out. Does it have something to do with Subway servers? The only thing I can think of that would be related to Subway and Facebook would either be Subway servers or Subway sandwiches. I'm genuinely curious. Coke Free, if you're still out there, let me know the answer to these important questions. Alright, here we go. 100cc. Here let's look at 50 and make sure everything's done. Like, yeah, we got all golds, even if they are ranked D. Oops, I didn't mean to start it. Hang on. Hang on. There we go. Okay, sure. Alright, I still got it done. Nice. Ruthless. Not a bad comeback. I mean, I didn't quite make it all the way, but still. Also, what's up with my connection dropping here? It's the second time that's happened. It still says there's 0 dropped frames, but I've gotten 2 connection warnings since this has been on. Weird. Did that not oddly look like it swapped me from red shell to triple green when I immediately upon using it? And then, like, all of a sudden, I didn't have, like, a viable way to take out the guy who was right in front of me right at the end of the race. That seems really, really sus. Like, it really always feels like this game is doing weird stuff behind the scenes to drum up drama that just doesn't even make sense. Alright. I swear to God, that turned from a red shell into a mushroom just when I used it, and not before. And like it was on a red shell for more than a few frames. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this stuff again. I keep seeing a red shell, and then it's not a red shell. That completely screwed me. No reason to start with the bronze either. This is the first race. There's no reason to do that. I'll just back it up. I'm just gonna have to take it. That race is just way too hard. That is fucking outrageous. I'm sorry, that's outrageous, though. What the... He jump maneuver and he avoids... Yeah, sure. If I don't get first on the next one, it's quitting time. Because I won't get it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take a break. That's so stupid, though. Like, I was just completely dominating. I was like, the whole time I'm thinking, I wonder what kind of just completely fake-ass, stupid crap they're gonna come up with in the third round, in the third lap, to, like, make my absolute domination of this race, like, fall apart. And of course they did. They just pulled out every fake, stupid thing. Like, I feel like the game's design is good enough to where it doesn't need this much gimmick and like behind the scenes number fudging and stuff that it very clearly does. It's very frustrating. I would prefer just a straight game of Mario Kart, to be honest. But there is none. Like all the Mario Kart games, I've always felt like, nah, that's not really the way that played out. Or you're like, or the rubber banding is just insane or something, you know. But whatever. I'll be back in a minute and we'll give it another go. Alright, so we're locked out of gold on this one, so we're going to go ahead and back it on out, back it on out, back it on out. Do it again. I mean, this is frustrating, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just that, and I know how much it's always like some BS thing, or it feels like some BS thing, as opposed to like, oh yeah, you know, it makes sense that it would go down this way. But that's always been Mario Kart, and that's fine. The reason why I would rate this Mario Kart just a little bit lower than the other ones is because of what it's missing. Now, first of all, there's the multiplayer issue. Now, I mean, it's commendable that they did include link play. I'm sure it's fine to play link play. I'm assuming there's link play. I don't even know how all that works. There's ghost trading. That's something, I guess. But even if it does, say, fully support head-to-head link play Mario, which it should, that's still a situation where both people have to have a Game Boy, the game, and the link cable on them. So other than like people who planned this out in advance, it's not going to be very common. And the multiplayer is just too integral to what Mario Kart is. You know what I mean? Like, but it's not something I would consider for the sake of playing by myself here. It's just one of those things that And you know, missing in a portable version, not too surprising. But the other thing is that it doesn't have the battle mode at all. Not even battle mode against CPU or battle mode to unlock. And to unlock stuff, it doesn't have any unlockables other than more races. So it's just that it's a little sparse on content. It's not that what's there is not good. It's actually very well made. I think the graphics and the music are great. Controls great, just like any other Mario Kart game, and it enrages me just like any other good Mario Kart game. But yeah, it's just I think if they had added just the battle mode, it would have went a little further and been more like an 8 out of 10 kind of experience instead of a 7 out of 10. Not bad, but once you've done all the races, you'll probably be like, yeah, it's enough Mario Kart. I mean, I'll take it, but what? I just want to point out in that round that Wario got himself into first place, then activated his star to defend himself in first place. Gee, I wonder why I never see human players use that strategy. Because you just don't magically appear in first place without items. So yeah, that time it felt like the opposite. Like it felt like it wanted me to win, especially the first round where it just threw me into first at the last second when I was really basically set to come in fourth. Um, so that's wild stuff. It's always going to feel weird when so much of the game is from either a randomized or algorithmic item distribution, along with a very obviously, very rubber banded. I guess it is an algorithmic. I mean, although I will say that I kept thinking, because I said Wario activated this star when he was in first, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then I was thinking, they're not going to give me a star when I'm in second place. Then they did it twice, as if just to prove me wrong. You know what I mean? I mean, that was a very weird round as well. They're all weird rounds. It's Mario Kart. It's wild. It's a roll of the dice. Alright, only thing left on 100cc is Special Cup. Just a second here and I'll knock that out. Alright, this should be the last of the 100cc, I believe. Let's see here if that is right. Yep. Here we go. Speaking of heinous, that was truly some sort of recovery there at the end. I'm going to go ahead and use up one of our continues because I feel like I've been cursed this round with just this. I thought I'd need a podium to win, but I guess I didn't. And since they're just screaming so hard, I'm glad to be done with it. Hopefully 150cc will be a little kinder to me. There's no way, though. It's going to be a beatdown. Anyway, I'm going to let these credits roll for a second while I take a quick break, and then I'll be right back to get destroyed by this game. Thanks for watching. Now I'm going to take on the 100cc. I don't know if I'm going to have any success with that. Probably not going to spend more than an hour on it. Probably not even that much time. We'll see how it goes. But if I'm just getting beat down real bad, I might wrap it up there. It has been fun though. I always think 100 is kind of the sweet spot, even though I get frustrated by some of the rubber banding and handicapping and things that the game does. It's still, I mean, it keeps you engaged, that's for sure. It's a very solid thing. But my complaints about this game are actually all related to content. I'm not clear if there's any real two-player mode, but even if there is, it involves a link cable and multiple copies of the game, I'm sure. There's no battle mode at all. The 100cc was just the same tracks with no new tracks or anything unlocked, as far as I could tell, or even variations of the same track, which seems a little silly. You just get the 16 tracks and that's it. So, like, we've already seen everything in the game twice, you know what I mean? Other than the speed of the vehicle. I feel like Game Boy Advance cartridges were quite a bit bigger than Super Nintendo cartridges, and they could have done something more here, or even given a track editor or something. Just this one just comes up one notch short of being great, just from a slight lack of content, but it is still really good and worth playing. And it was one of the first games I bought for my GBA, and not something I regretted or anything. It was definitely it's a good one. This is probably about time to bail, right? I don't think this is recoverable. I can't come in first from here at all. I mean, I could get some sort of, you know what I mean, some sort of medal, but not... I think I've pretty much lost my chance of being first. Let's maybe start over. And if that doesn't work, maybe we'll just, you know, just settle on not getting first and play a little more of it, but it's all the same. We've seen it all at this point, you know. So I don't know how much further I'm going to go on this. 150 is a good challenge, though. It would probably keep me entertained for a while. Yeah, 150cc is a hellaciously hard difficulty for me. I'd have to really, really try a lot to get through these, which I'm not going to do right now. This is just kind of a quick playthrough of something that I thought wasn't going to be as frustrating as Battle Galaga yesterday. Battle Galaga is a great game, by the way. I actually had a lot of fun with both of these. One for its very legitimate skill challenge that you have to master with pure reflexes, and the other for its ridiculous nonsense that it throws at you every second to keep everything totally interesting while you're doing a little race. It's very cartoon-like and just over the top. So Mario Kart's really fun. Something I'll come back to. What do you think I should do next on Mario Kart? Probably Double Dash. People like that one a lot, right? I never got as into Double Dash single player, but I think it was a good multiplayer game, maybe. Or maybe I'm getting it backwards. But I didn't play it as much as the Wii one, which I played a lot. I don't know if this machine will run the Wii one really well, but I'll try it. Look into it at some point. What else do we have on Mario Kart? There's probably like DS stuff that I've never looked at all. I don't know anything about DS or 3DS or DSi or any of that. But I'm sure that's where a lot of the good Mario Kart is. Oh, and there's Spaghetti Kart, the recomp of the Mario Kart 64. I've streamed Mario Kart 64 before. That should be on here, but maybe it was on Twitch. I don't know. And that's a great game, of course, but doing the recompiled source ports of those games might be really cool. Might look into Star Fox on that as well. Anyway, that's Mario Kart Super Circuit for the Game Boy Advance. I'll try to do more Game Boy Advance games. I know I have only streamed maybe a couple of them. Maybe just this and Gradius Galaxies. Is that it? And there's more racing games that are great too. Even from Nintendo, there's 2 F-Zero games if I remember correctly. So a lot of stuff to look at there. I'm probably not going to stream tomorrow. I probably am going to play a bunch of Tekken now. So I might upload some highlights of that later in the day. Some Tekken 8. I don't have any of the new content or anything, but I mostly like core Tekken characters anyway. And then next week's streams are going to be, should be, and this is always subject to change, ZPF for Sega Genesis, and Vampire Saviors, the third Darkstalkers game. We'll probably do the PS5 Capcom Stadium version of that, but I just got a new controller for my PS5, so I'm excited to break it in. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good weekend.